What's going on, everybody? This is your WOF Outlook and discussion for Thursday, May 25th, 2023. And before we get into today's video, I hope everyone is doing well, remaining positive, and as always, staying blessed. All right, you guys, as we always do in the mornings during tropical season, we're going to start out with the tropics here. And as you can see, you guys, taking a look at the Eastern Pacific yet again, is very quiet. Nothing is expected to develop in the next 7 days. As we go towards the Gulf of Mexico, that holds true as well. As you can see, yet again, a lot of dry air is filtered all the way into the Gulf of Mexico here. So no development is expected. That's even the same here for the Caribbean and on out into the Central Atlantic, you guys. The wind shear is the name of the game in the beginning of the season here. But you guys, we will still have a chance that the National Hurricane Center is currently still looking at here for a 10% chance during the next 7 days to become. This coastal low does have that small 10% chance of becoming a tropical or subtropical system. But for the most part, this is probably going to just be a coastal low that moves into the Carolinas with some gusty winds, heavy rains, you guys. Primarily the gusty winds are mainly going to be along the coastal areas, but the heavy rains will penetrate further inland, you guys. So if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date and weather aware. Storm Prediction Center, National Hurricane Center comes out with their updates. I have them right here at your Weather on the Fly in my shorts and community section, you guys. And before we take a look at the lower 48 weather for today, you guys, we're going to turn our attention yet again to the Western Pacific here, as we still do have this super typhoon that is currently moving to the west here. And I can tell you, you guys, I really do love to see these systems here out in the middle of the waters, out in the middle of nowhere, when they're this dangerous like this, because this is really a beautiful sight. These hurricanes are very beautiful when they're not involved in making landfall or affecting population or areas. When they're just out in the open waters, just looking beautiful and fantastic. This is amazing, you guys. Just look at this storm. Here is Guam right here, you guys. We have Guam right here where I have the cursor, the marker circling. This is where the storm actually went, just to the north of there. The eye didn't pass directly over, it went just to the north. Now, parts of the southern um, eye wall core of the system probably did brush the coast, you guys, but it didn't technically make direct landfall over Guam. But as you can see, that eye wall replacement cycle has cleared out. This eye has regained itself. The wind field and everything is broadened, because once a storm goes through an eye wall replacement cycle, the wind field expands, the storm surge, just all the nasty impacts just expand even further and further, you guys. But this is one beautiful storm here. Just long as it doesn't affect no one at this type of intensity, you guys, it's amazing to see these storms here just turn into in the middle of the ocean like this. And as we look at the projected track, you guys, as you can see that right now, 145 knot winds. This is a Category 5 hurricane, you guys, equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane here over the Western Pacific. And as you can see, the track continues west-northwest, then starts to bend towards the northwest here as we start to get towards Taiwan and the Philippines. So it's going to be a close call for them, you guys, but it looks like this storm may actually miss them, but it's still too early to tell. So we're going to just keep an eye on it here at your Weather on the Fly as the days go along. But as this system is probably going to eventually turn north and then eventually head on out to the northeast. So eventually Japan, we will have you guys on the radar, looking out for you guys to see what this system will be doing as it eventually turns north and then possibly northeast during the next 5 to 7 days past this 5 day forecast, you guys. But that's going to be it for this super typhoon, you guys. We're going to come back tomorrow and take a look at this, but this is just one beautiful sight. This is the equivalent of a Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic, you guys. Just crazy. But now, as we take a look here at the southeast United States coastline, you guys, for at the coastal low that's going to develop. Here we starting at Thursday morning. We have a lot. This is courtesy of Tropical Tibbets. This is this morning's GFS run. A lot of disturbed weather and moisture here across the southern Florida's peninsula, the Bahamas area, eastern Gulf. As we move this on out into the overnight hours, and now we at Friday morning, you can see we trying to get some kind of just wild low pressure forming. It's just all kind of stuff. Weak low pressure here across the Bahamas, here the northern Bahamas, and we also have some kind of low pressure here trying to form just off the South Carolina coast, and this will be Friday morning. But other than the just looking at the low pressure form, look at all the heavy rain that's going to be off the Carolina coast here, you guys. We will definitely be looking out for flooding as that eventually waits to get drawn inland once this low pressure forms and continues to move to the north. And as you can see by the overnight, by the going into the evening hours on Friday, overnight, and then Saturday morning, you can see this sloppy low pressure coastal low does develop here. You can see it still has frontal attachments to it. If you look out across the Atlantic, this still looks frontal attached, which is why the National Hurricane Center does not believe that this is going to completely become a subtropical or tropical system, because in order to become a pure tropical system, you have to get rid of the frontal attachment here, the frontal dynamics with this system in order for this to become a pure tropical system, you guys. And as you can see, as we go into Saturday, and going into the evening on Saturday, then overnight going into Sunday, this little weak low does move inland near the South Carolina, North Carolina border here, and it will be funneling in some heavy rains across parts of North Carolina and Virginia here, you guys. As we take a look at the European model, same as the GFS, just a lot of mess going on here across just off the southeast United States coastline. And then as we continue to move it on through even Friday on the European, this stays completely disorganized. As we get into Saturday morning, that look at the heavy rains along the coastal areas of northeast Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, you guys. The coastal impacts are just going to be nasty this weekend. And as this disorganized coastal low, the European tries to do something with it, but it just does not really get going, you guys, as it makes landfall around Sunday afternoon here on the European. But you guys, it just looks like this is going to be just a nasty weekend here for parts of the Carolinas and even parts of the Georgia coastline and maybe even the northeast Florida coastline here as at the beginning of the week, you guys, with this the beginning of the weekend, you guys, with this coastal low. But other than that, you guys, it's just not going to be a very fun day across the beaches of the Carolinas, you guys, with this system coming. But as of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to be tropical or anything, but we will keep an eye on it because this is the Gulf Stream in this area, you guys. And you know that Gulf Stream works some very wonderful magics with these storms, you guys. So we just have to continue to watch and see. Now we're going to take it back to the lower 48, you guys. We didn't rumble enough about the tropics because I can go on and on for hours when it comes to the tropics, you guys. All right, we're going to take this off of here so we can get into the lower 48's convective outlook today. All right, you guys, let me get these temperatures off. And as you can see, this is the 10% for 7 days, you guys, through 7 days for the development of that coastal low. But as I said, just should just be a coastal low that we've had several times throughout the winter and everything else that comes in and bring in that gusty winds and everything else, you guys. Y'all know how coastal lows go. That's more than likely what this event is going to be. But as we go into the convective outlook for day one, as you can see, we do have a marginal risk for our same areas, just rerunning the episodes of the severe weather here across West Texas, eastern New Mexico, getting into parts of eastern Colorado. We do have that marginal risk here up across parts of east central Montana, you guys. As we check the probability, no tornadoes are forecast as of right now. That is a good news, but we will be on the lookout for an isolated spin up here across parts of the southern high plains because that is your usual area that could see a quick spin up. But as of right now, we do not have to worry about that, which is good news. Hail pushing 1 to 1.5 inch in diameter across parts of eastern Montana could be possible, and yet here again across parts of the southern high plains. As we go to the wind probability, the same here. 50 to 60 miles per hour, gusting to 70 possibly across Montana, eastern Montana, and the same here again across parts of the southern high plains, West Texas, eastern New Mexico, into parts of southeastern Colorado. As we now segue to the HRRR, you guys, to see how These pop-up showers and thunderstorms are going to materialize throughout today. And as you guys know, we start here at 12 noon at your weather on the fly. And as you can see, we might have at 12 p.m. a cluster of showers and thunderstorms here across parts of west central Oklahoma, around the Oklahoma City area. Maybe some rumbles of thunder extending on north into parts of southern Kansas here, you guys. Even some isolated showers, maybe a rumble of thunder across parts of southern Nebraska here. Even now going up into parts of Idaho. West central Montana, so showers and thunderstorms moving on to the east, you guys. Look here across just off the southeast U.S. coastline with that disturbance here. Showers and thunderstorms starting to increase in intensity. As we move on to 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you guys, you can see, look up across east central Montana. These clusters of showers and thunderstorms. Hail and isolated locally damaging wind gusts will be a possibility. Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be in order for the rest of the Pacific Northwest here, you guys. Even parts of Nevada, Utah, Wyoming. We have to be on the lookout. We're starting to have some cells pop here across parts of extreme southwest Texas. Have some showers and thunderstorms extending from central Nebraska all the way down into central Oklahoma around 5 o'clock today, you guys. And look here at the showers and thunderstorms starting to increase in coverage here across parts of the Florida's Peninsula and the eastern seaboard, the East Coast, along the coastline here, the Carolinas, North Carolina, South Carolina, with this disturbance, you guys. We move into the overnight hours, going into Friday. You can see, look at the line of the cluster of showers and thunderstorms that's going to move on out across central Texas, across the central Texas panhandle. That's going to continue to move on east as we go into the overnight hours. Look here across parts, still may have some rain here across parts of eastern Montana, western North Dakota here, you guys. And look at the increase in shower coverage here just off the southeast coast still, you guys, with this coastal low trying to do something, but we will keep an eye on it. As we move into 7 a.m., which will segue us to convective outlook day 2, you guys. And as you can see, and this will be for Friday morning, 7 a.m. Friday morning, you can see up from the Canadian border all the way down to Mexico, we will have that risk here across the plains, the high plains, for some severe weather. And as you can see on Friday, across this area, we do have two slight risk areas on the northern extent and the southern extent. The southern extent does include extreme eastern New Mexico, the western Texas panhandle, you guys, same general areas, you guys. The marginal risk extends on up to where it meets this next slight risk area that's across parts of southeast Montana. And if I'm not mistaken, you guys, this would be northwest Wyoming. I'm going to go with Wyoming, you guys, because I believe that is Wyoming. These western states do get me a little mixed. It's Wyoming, you guys. Yes, it is. So this extends from southeast Montana into northeast Wyoming, you guys. And as we check the probability to see what these storms will be doing, for Friday, a 2% chance of tornadoes across the southern high plains. So we will be on the lookout eastern New Mexico, extreme west Texas. Quick spin up could be possible tomorrow. 15% chance of that hail pushing 1 to 1.5 inch in diameter across the slight risk areas. And with the wind probability the same as the hail, 15% chance of those winds pushing 50 to 60, gusting to 70, maybe even as high as 75 here, you guys. And a 5% chance across the marginal risk. No significant tornadoes. We will have a significant hail hatched area for parts of eastern New Mexico here tomorrow, you guys. So hail on the order of 2 to 3 inches in diameter could be in store for parts of eastern New Mexico. So we will definitely be on the lookout for that. And no significant winds. So as we continue to HRRR out, you guys, and we go to 12 p.m., you can see here that coastal low is starting to try to get itself together here. The showers and thunderstorms are trying to increase here in coverage along the coastal areas of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and the Florida Peninsula. Across the high plains, nothing is going on as of yet. We go on to 4 or 5 in the afternoon. All right, you guys, you can see the intensity and coverage of the showers and thunderstorms along Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. We will be looking out for some possible isolated instances of flash flooding as well with this coastal low, you guys. But look here across the plains from Mexico up to Canada, you guys. You can see the heavy cluster of showers and thunderstorms that's dotted up here across Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and then across the southern slight risk mode here across eastern New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, you guys. Hazards of isolated hail, damaging winds, and tornadoes will be a possibility here across this southern mode with that hatched area for significant hail on the order of 2 to 3 inches in diameter. We move on to tomorrow evening, you guys, 9, 10 o'clock. Look at this coastal low starting to get itself together here. Look at the rain starting to move further inland across Georgia, South Carolina. We will be on the lookout for some heavy rains that could be causing flooding going into the overnight hours on Friday into Saturday. Here across parts of the high plains, we still going to have the isolated showers and thunderstorms that could be producing those isolated large hail events, and damaging wind gusts. As we go as far as the HRRR will take us out, which will be 1 a.m. Saturday morning, you can see here across parts of Montana still have some clusters of showers and thunderstorms. But as we take a closer look here at 1 in the morning on Saturday, overnight hours Friday going into Saturday, you guys, look at the heavy rain that's going to be across eastern Georgia, the Carolinas, and look at the heavy cells with this coastal low. So we will definitely be on the lookout and keeping a very close eye on that low to see that, just to make sure it doesn't try to pull a surprise and become anything more than what's already currently forecast, you guys. Now we're going to segue into convective outlook day 3, which yet again across the high plains from Canada all the way to Mexico, you guys, we will have a marginal risk of severe weather for Saturday. So if you haven't done so already, you guys, be sure to share, like, and subscribe so you can stay up to date and weather aware. Again, you will not miss a beat as the Storm Prediction Center and National Hurricane Center comes out with the updates. I have them posted right here in my shorts and community section at your weather on the fly, quickly on the fly, you guys. So that's going to be it for this one. Here's a yet again, you guys, another look at this super typhoon across the Western Pacific. We're going to come back and take a look at tomorrow to see what this system is doing as well. That's going to be it for this one. Everyone be safe, be careful, and I will talk to you all in the next one.